Hello po muli. So, bagong topic po tayo ulit ngayon, auditory diagnosis. Nasal voice, hoarse voice. The voice and the 5 elements. From a 5 elements perspective, there are 5 tones of voice. Shouting for wood, laughing for fire, singing for earth, weeping for metal, and groaning for water. So, kung makikita po ninyo yung emotion niyan, so sa voice, nandun din po siya. These tones of voice can be interpreted in 2 ways. Under psychological conditions, these tones are normal for those types. That is, it is normal for a wood type to have a relative loud. So kung mga karaniwan daw, malakas yung boses natin. Or yun, shouting. Pasigaw tayo magsalita, shouting voice. Under pathological condition, the tone of voice may deviated from its standard by excess or deficiency. So doon pa lang po sa boses, makikita natin kung anong pagkatao ng pasyente natin. So therefore, a wood type may have a voice that is either too shouting or not strong enough. A shouting voice is loud and is emitted in short, sharp bars as if that person were reapproaching someone. A person with a laughing voice will often have short bars or laughter within their speech, and the voice itself may have an edge of laughter. A singing tone of voice has a relatively high pitch. It is melodious and has a flow of high and low tones like a song. A weeping voice is somewhat hesitant with a relatively low pitch and a sad tone. In some cases, it may sound almost as if the person were about to burst into tears. A groaning voice sound guttural, has a low pitch, and it's somewhat croaky. So, yun po yung mga iba-ibang voices natin. So, ito po yung summary niya. 5 elements voices. So, pag yung tao laging sumisigaw, wood po yan. So, wood, yung kanyang category po laughing, fire, singing, earth, weeping, metal, groaning is water. Strength and quality of the voice. A strong, loud voice generally indicates a full condition, whereas a weak, low and quiet voice indicates an empty condition. So madali din po nating makita, no? Kung ang category nila nasa wood, pag humina po yan, humina yung mga boses nila, sila ay nasa weak condition. So when considering the quality of the voice, we should discuss various sound as follows. Ito pa paano? So yung nasal voice, hoarse voice, snoring, groaning, crying out, and stuttering. So nasal voice. Apart from the strength of the voice, one should also assess the clarity of it. As mentioned above, the normal voice should sound as clear as a bell. If the voice sounds muffled, this indicates that the passage of the lungs are obstructed. So this obstruction may be caused by external wind, phlegm, or dampness. In deficient condition, if the voice sounds muffled but weak, it indicates a deficiency of qi and blood or a deficiency of lung qi, usually combined with retention of dampness or phlegm in the nasal passages. Letter A, invasion of wind cold. So, nasal voice with sudden onset, itchy throat, aversion to cold, fever, occipital headache, stiff neck, sneezing, body aches, tongue with thin white coating, floating, and tight pulse. So, may invasion of wind cold po yan. Pag invasion of wind dampness naman, nasal voice with sudden onset, syempre, aversion to cold po yan. So, may fever, at dahil may dampness, may feeling of heaviness of the body. So, malalaman po natin pag may dampness, ano, kasi yun, pakiramdam nila parang bigat ng katawan nila. Then, may nausea, epigastric pain, vomiting, body ache, tongue with sticky white coating, floating, slippery pulse. Phlegm in the nasal passages. So, paano natin malalaman? Pag yung nasal voice nila, yung ilong ay black, yung parang barado, black nose. Then, snoring, feeling of oppression of the chest, feeling of heaviness, sputum in the throat, swollen tongue with sticky coating, and slippery pulse. Yan, mga sign ng phlegm. Letter D, pag meron naman pong dampness in the nasal passages. So, yung nasal voice, so meron din po siyang black nose. Yun, yung barado yung ilong. Then, nagkakaroon siya ng facial pain. Ito to, may yung sinusitis. Sticky taste. Then, dahil may dampness, meron siyang feeling of heaviness. Then, sticky po yung kanyang tongue coating. Then, slippery pulse. So, spleen and lung qi deficiency. So, combination po ito, ano? With phlegm and or dampness in the nasal passages. So, the nasal voice, black nose, nagkakaroon po siya ng runny nose sa umaga. Then, may chronic sinusitis. Then, tiredness. Yan. Poor appetite, kasi involved nga po yung spleen, kaya pati yung ganyang-gana sa pagkain nawawala. Then, loose stool, kasi si spleen ang namamahala sa energy pag pababa, nanghihina sa spleen, kaya nagkakaroon na ang loose stool. Then, weak voice, dahil silang chi, mahina din. Propensity to catching cold, yung konting pagbabago ng panahon, nilalamig agad. Pale and swollen tongue with teeth mark and sticky coating, then ang kanya pong pulse ay saggy. So yung clinical note po natin dito, a nasal voice is relatively common in children with residual dampness in the sinuses. Next is hoarse voice. A hoarse voice in acute condition always indicates an ambition of wind heat with dryness in the lungs. Defensive chi system. If we compare the lungs to a metal instrument or a bell, in this case, the voice becomes hoarse because the bell is full. Example, the lungs are obstructed by wind. In ancient time, this was called gin full, not ringing. Yun, kaya parang hoarse yung maririnig natin, ano. Gin being an ancient metal percussion instrument. A sudden hoarse voice may also be due to stagnation of liver or lung qi affecting the throat because of emotional problem. So, di ba po ba yung naiiyak na, nagbabago yung boses, siya po yun yung hoarse voice. A hoarse voice in chronic condition is due to a deficiency of yin of the lungs and kidney. In this case, the voice become hoarse because the bells is cracked. In ancient time, this was called gin broken and not ringing. If the voice become hoarse suddenly in the course of serious chronic disease, example, yung may mga cancer po, it indicates a collapse of yin or yang and is bad prognostic sign. So, pag nag-hoarse voice na po, yun, so, pangit na po itong pangitain. A chronic hoarse voice with swelling of the pharynx may be due to phlegm and blood stasis obstructing the throat. A hoarse voice during pregnancy is due to a pathology of the connecting channel which links the uterus to the kidney, as the kidney channel reaches the root of the tongue. A disturbance of connecting channel connecting the kidney to the uterus during pregnancy prevents kidney chi from rising to the tongue. So, yun po yung nangyayari pag buntis. Thus affecting the voice. This is mentioned in chapter 47 of the simple questions. This condition normally improves by itself and does not require treatment. Kasi normal nga po yun dahil buntis siya eh. So in fact, the same question says that this problem does not require treatment because it will be resolved in the 10th month. So pag nasa 10th month na po, nagkakaroon na ng nawawala ng obstruction siguro doon. That is when the woman gives birth. Kasi 10 month, manganganak na nga, mawawala na yung obstruction. Kaya nagno-normal na po yung kanyang voice. Sobrang yung 10th month. Siyam lang na buwan yung pagdadala eh. So, a coarse, deep, raucous voice with sudden onset indicates an invasion of wind. A nasal voice indicates an invasion of wind cold or wind dampness. A difficulty in producing sound with breathlessness and rattling sound in the throat, like the sound of soap, indicates the retention of phlegm in the lungs. Ayan, pag may phlegma talaga tayo, di ba? Minsan parang walang lumalabas ng putol-putol na yung ating boses. So, yung parang so. Letter A, full. Pag mayroon pong lung chi stagnation. Hoarse voice that comes and goes according to the emotional state. Kung ano yung emotion mo, ganun din nagiging tono natin. Irritability, depression, worry, feeling of a lump in the throat, sighing, feeling of oppression of the chest. Yan. Pag may lung chi stagnation, yung mga lagi pong yung nagbubuntong hininga, lung chi stagnation po yan. So, pag ganyan po, acupuncture po natin ang lung 7. Yan, earth point. Palakasin po natin lung 7 is lung 9 earth point. Then, lung 3, pericardium 6, stomach 40. Yan, yun po yun yung mga ating palalakasin, tutusukan. Kung empty naman po, lung and kidney deficiency. So, combination din po lung and kidney. So, hoarse voice with the slow onset, dry throat, thirst with a desire to drink and small sip, dry cough that is worse in the evening, thin body, breathlessness on exertion, lower back ache, night sweating, may dizziness siya, may tinnitus, hardness of hearing, scanty urination, normal colored tongue without coating, floating empty pulse. So yan po yung, ang problem po niya ay nasa lung and kidney. So yin deficient, ang dalawang organ na to. Pag nakita natin yung mga sign and symptom pong iyan. So, acupuncture po natin ang kidney 3. Yan. Then, REN 4, spleen 6, REN 12, lung 9, kidney 6, and REN MI, or lung 7, with kidney 6. Yan. Kung mayroon naman pong phlegm and blood stasis, hoarse voice in a chronic condition. Yung pabalik-balik na yung ganun yung tono ng boses niya, no? So, mayroon po siyang swelling sa pharynx. Then, sputum in the throat, feeling of oppression of the chest, abdominal pain, mayroon po siyang mental restlessness. Nagkakaroon na rin ng dark complexion kasi nga may blood stasis eh. Then, red, purple, and swollen tongue. Yan, yung mga sign ng blood stasis with sticky coating. Then, ang kanya pong pulse is wiry, slippery. Pag collapse naman na po ang yin or yang, yung hoarse voice po ay sudden onset. So, in the course of a serious chronic disease. Other symptoms and signs depend on whether there is collapse of yin or collapse of yang. Hirap na po yun pag yin and yang na nag-collapse. Kidney channel pathology and pregnancy. So yung hoarse voice po ay towards the end of term. This is due to the kidney connecting channel from the uterus to the throat, and it does not require treatment. So, basta buntis po at narinig ninyo na hoarse ang kanyang voice, hindi po nyo kailangang gamutin. Kasi magno-normal din po yun pag manganganak or nanganak na siya. Babalik din po. So, if there is invasion of pinheat, ito po yung ating mga makikita. Hoarse voice with acute onset. Meron po siyang sore throat. Then, aversion to cold. Meron din siyang fever. May headache. May body ache. Then, slight sweating. Kung titingnan natin ang tongue, red side po yun. And, or front. Then, ang kanyang pulse ay floating rapid. Thank you po for your attention.